I have a very simple question to ask you. And I hope everybody at the back, I hope you can hear me, but I hope you can also see me. Because the question I have to ask you is, do you trust this face? Would you lend me money? I see a few people going, yeah, no, I don't think so, I don't think so. Well, I'm very excited because it seems like some companies are willing to lend me money just with my face, which is quite impressive. Yes. The photographer, he's going to tag that photo. Would you lend this man money? No. It's quite intimidating, actually. Now, it is my great pleasure to welcome two people to the stage. We have an additional case study here. If you're a new customer to a bank and you would like a loan, it seems that Tatra Banka and Innovatrics say that they can do it using only your face, which is probably more successful than my face. So it's with great pleasure. I would like to welcome Dušan Slimák to the stage and also Petr Martiš. Will you come up now, Petr, or? Możesz. Great to see you. Dušan, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Gentlemen?
Thank you very much. My name, Slimák, means in English snail, but I know the lunch is coming, so we will try to be fast. Don't worry. And brand promise to be innovative. What does it mean to be innovative? Spend a lot of money on research or a lot of resources? Yes. But for me, first of all, it's risk of reputation and making something wrong. Because if you are doing something new, you can actually screw it up a lot of ways, and it sometimes maybe doesn't work. And I found a great quote that if it works, it's obsolete, so we have to try something new. Yeah? And the question is, why the face? Yeah, the biometry is something about the statistics, and in a bank, you know, especially risk, IT security, all these guys needs answer yes or no. And biometries maybe. Yeah? So we started already with some previous experiences. Some years ago, we started with the biometric signature on the branches. So it's not verified now by the person, but by the recognition. Then we put here the voice biometry. And later on, we tried in 2014 the face biometry. Why we are now presenting face biometry in 2018. The answer is, we call it DAC, because it was not such a great success. We offered to the students a web page. You can actually fill it up, request for your new account, and upload your picture. Yeah? Please give us your picture. And what we received was interesting pack of the pictures, but including the ducks and a lot of another funny pictures of the people, group of the people on a beach. Great, right? Yeah. So to make it online, we have to move on a bit. We identified that we need a better technology, so we focused on the mobile smartphones because you have the better camera, you have some more hardware inside. Plus, the technology moved a bit, and we are able to give an instruction to the user that, okay, please look to the mobile and not take a picture of your dog or the group of you are around. So that was one thing. Second thing, especially in Slovakia, and this is important, HODI solution is so far for the Slovak citizens, permanent residents in Slovakia, and for new to bank clients. So if here is anyone already being client of Tatra Bank, it's not for you, but please don't leave. Yeah? I will try to be short. So what is important is that we are utilizing some features which are available in Slovakia, and also it was possible to amend or actually update the anti-money laundering law, which is now valid for in this year, to allow us remote identification without personal visit of branch or so. So now, as it was mentioned, to open the account, you need smartphone and personal ID. And for the loan, you have to also be employed. So we put together two things, open an account and the loan. But just enough, because I would rather to show it to you. So because I think it's more fun than just presenting the slides. So if it works. Yeah. So if don't, yeah, okay. So I have a mobile phone and GDPR ready screen on the iPhone. We downloaded the application, and here we have a new option, become a client, and you'll choose your preferred product. Right now we have current account package or the loan. So some preliminary calculation, nothing special, but now it starts to be the special. So first we will ask you, and actually these are my data. Yeah? So now this is completely GDPR ready. Yeah? And whatever else. Yeah? So if you want to write it down, you can contact me anytime, because you'll see everything. Yeah? So, and you have to, of course, confirm some consents and so on. Actually, this is one of the most complicated stuff, to put there all the consents. Now I received on a mobile phone, when I have SIM card, the code, and to validate that you have access to some mobile phone number, so we can actually contact you later on. And you will choose your PIN for later use of the application. Of course, very secure, 1.234, yeah? This is not advisory how to choose the PIN, yeah? So now we will take a picture of actually the conditions are great, especially if you don't have the lightning bed like this, because the experiences are okay. That was first, and the second page of the ID. We are extracting not only the data from this machine variable zone, but also from the other data which are printed on the ID. Like this is actually for you to write down my address. Yeah. But I'm already married, so sorry about this. Yeah. Okay. So now we verify the data you put here, and meantime, we've seen this, we verify the data using the interface to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So if you change something there, we know that it was changed. Now we need to take a selfie. And now we are verifying the stuff with, again, Ministry of Internal Affairs. And this is the reason why we choose the face, because it's the only fact you can actually validate with an independent institution, because like fingerprint or voice and so on, you have to onboard yourself. Now, system identified me as a client. You know, the problem with this process is that when you want to show it with the full process, you need more and more new to bank clients, and we are running out of the testing person because everyone already have the account. So, and now we can switch back. Yeah? So this was the key part of the identification of a person who was not present anywhere and became a real person. Then we went through this process, and as I mentioned, we are using this biometry between different pictures. Actually, this picture is extracted from my passport. You can use it with Android phone and NFC, anyone you want, if you have your passport. And for this, we are using two different technologies. One is on Ministry of Internal Affairs, another one is on our side. And as I actually reach some level, I'm already a person known to the bank, and you can move on with some parameters and so on, and open an account. For the loan, which is in top of that, we validate your income through the social insurance company check and online inquiry to the credit bureau, and we make you offer of the, if you have enough income, we will give you the grant loan up to the 30,000 euro for 8 years, and we will disburse the money to your mobile application, to your new account immediately. And you can you can transfer the money, or you can go to the ATM, Tatra ATM, and withdraw money without the debit card. And work with that. Of course, okay, well, we are crazy or not. Since we started in May this year with the account, we opened a couple of thousand of the accounts, and also later on we started these loans, so we already sold some loans, and of course we have to actually monitor it. As I mentioned, it's only for Slovak people now because we would like to see how it works. So the acceptance rate of the people are quite high, like especially in the students level, and of course we have to fix it. You know, like you ask me that whether we are done, we are not done. You know, we have to right now find out actually how it works, because you know we expected something that we will start testing it somehow, even the dog. What actually happened in real life, we found out that okay, some attempts to fake it, but also that there is a special feature that you need to keep the phone like perpendicular. Yeah? But we found out that a lot of people are taking pictures like this because students are laying on the beds, or sometimes even they're taking pictures even in the bath and so on. So this part of this user experience design that you have to ask people what they are really looking for. Eh? So, and we've seen this one important feature I haven't mentioned, but this blue dot actually is one of the key feature there. It is liveness check to not fake the application with your video of picture from Facebook. So we first started with some gymnastics because you've seen it 2 years ago on some New York's presentation that, okay, I know, blink with your eye and then you have an account. So we tried these gymnastics, like random instructions, like open the mouth or look to the left. But then we found that, okay, you are looking left and you don't see any other more instructions. Yeah? So then we came with this, not us, but the supplier came with this dot liveness check, which is definitely easier to understand. So that's it. And of course, we've now received some couple of acknowledgements, like IT Project of the Year in Slovakia and so on. But all this would not be possible without the partners, because we are bank, innovative bank, we are not doing the research in IT. So I will now hand over part to our colleagues from the Innovatrics, who actually shared with us this technology for the biometry itself.
Thank you, Dušan. Thank you very much. It was a great example of how our technology can be used in real life. I'm from Innovatrics. I'm responsible for global sales, and we are the company behind the facial biometrics technology in the application we have just seen. Innovatrics is a Slovak company. I'm sure not too many of you have heard of us because we are primarily active outside of Slovakia and outside of Europe, for that matter. We are in the market for almost 15 years. We have 110 employees, and we really are a technological company. Our core focus is on biometric modalities. So we are developing our own biometric engines for face recognition, fingerprint recognition, and iris. We have been primarily focused on engineering, research, and development. That's why 65% of our staff are really engineers. So we're very much technical company. We developed all the stuff by ourselves. And we have been quite successful in the government sector. We have been running elections in Burkina Faso. We right now have launched a project with Saudi Arabian Immigration Office. We have the largest citizen or civil registry in Indonesia, 180 million people registered in our system. So we have been quite strong and powerful when it comes to governmental deals and projects, e-passports, driving licenses. Every time you are applying for a passport, as you remember, you have to go through a certain process of they are taking a picture of you, they're taking your fingerprints. This is all registered in a system that is called ABIS, Automated Biometric Identification System, and that's what we do besides other things. And 3 years ago, we figured, all right, we are pretty strong in the governmental and public sector, but as the facial recognition technology became more accurate and easy to operate also on the low-end smartphone devices, we were thinking how to utilize and use this technology in the enterprise business, because we wanted to spin up, we wanted to be also active in the enterprise vertical. And so we have created a solution for mobile facial recognition. So you can actually use your face as your passport in order to log into your phone, smartphone application, anything. And we have been offering this to banks. So our initial idea was using facial authentication as a second factor to the existing mobile banking apps, for instance. And the feedback we have been receiving was, well, this is nice, but we don't really have a problem with second factor authentication, to be honest. We would rather use the facial biometrics to verify the identity of the people in order to onboard them, to register new customers and new clients. So we have created a product called Digital Onboarding Toolkit, which is essentially a component or a software package that allows you to extend your existing mobile applications for Android and iOS with the capability of facial biometrics and ID recognition in order to register and onboard new clients and customers. When we have been developing this solution, an integral part of the process, as you have seen in the demo, was to recognize the ID card. And we realized that all the commercial solutions for ID recognition, for OCRing the IDs that are on the market, are not accurate enough. So we have developed our own. I will show you how it works. The DOT, Digital Onboarding Toolkit, actually comes with some ready-to-use screen components, so integrating it into the existing applications is a matter of hours. This is an example of a typical user experience. You can actually go to the Android Play Store and download this application by yourself. So you can give it a try. You can onboard yourself using your ID, and you see how accurate the solution is. You just go to the Google Play Store and look for Innovatrics or InnoBank, which is the name of the demo application. You will be able to download and use it. And as you can see, the system is guiding you through a series of steps, which are specifically, I will describe them later. Use cases, this is very important. So the Digital Onboarding Toolkit can be primarily used for onboarding new clients. And that's what our customers, banks and telcos, are doing frequently. Right now we have about 16 banks worldwide and about 4 telcos using this solution to onboard and register new clients. For telcos, this is a big thing because, as you know, in most countries in the world, the telecommunication companies are obliged to register the owner of a SIM card, so they have to take his personal details. And this is typically only happening in the shops and branches, and it's a bottleneck for them. So they would love to sell more SIM cards, but they can't because there's only so many customers they can handle in the store. So we have delivered this solution to several telco providers, such as Vodacom in South Africa, where all you need to do is download the app, register yourself using your ID and selfie, and eventually you'll get a SIM card in the envelope, so you don't have to go to the store. We can also use the solution for facial authentication, so this is still an option. On any smartphone with the selfie camera, you can basically use your face as the second factor authentication element. And you can also use the solution for recognizing the ID documents only. And I was talking about the steps that it takes to authenticate or to get onboarded. So The first one is scanning the ID. The use case that Dušan here was showing from Tatra banka was actually a little more complex because there are a lot of legal obligations they have to fulfill as a bank, obviously. This first step in our demo is really about taking a proper scan of your ID card, recognizing the details. So we are OCRing, we are recognizing every single personal detail from the ID card. We are using deep learning approach, so artificial intelligence, to recognize the letters from the ID card. And of course, one thing we have to take care of, we have to detect and extract the face, because that's actually what is going to be compared with your actual selfie. So the facial photograph from the ID is going to be matched against your actual selfie that you perform with the selfie camera. Step 2 is actually recognizing the content. The solution that we have can not only recognize special characters, very small letters, even if they're poor quality, but it can also tell you how confident the system is about recognition. So in other words, if the system is sure that this name has been recognized properly, it will not even let you to edit it, so you don't have to do typos or mistakes. And if it's not 100% certain, it will highlight those fields, and then you can manually correct them and fix them. And step number 3, and this is very important, is actually taking the selfie. The application will provide visual guidance, because in order to do a proper facial biometrics, you need to have a decent selfie photo. And so for that, the application will actually give you a little circle, graphical indication, move away, look straight, etc. And very important element that Dušan was mentioning is the liveness detection. Because you don't want to have someone using a photograph showing it to the camera, pretending to be someone else. So that liveness detection that you have seen, the little blue dot, it wasn't that obvious maybe from the demo. You are, as a user, you are asked to look at the screen and follow the moving object, which is moving randomly from corner to corner with your eyes. And we are tracking the eye movement and comparing it with the object, and we are checking whether it's in sync. So you actually have to follow this little object flying on the screen. And that way this is a patented technology, that way we assure that there is actually a live human being cooperating and looking at the camera. Recently, we have also introduced a web-based onboarding, because at some point you might not be always able to force your future customers to download your application. So we also want to enable users to onboard and register through the web page, right? So you can open the browser on your laptop, as long as you have a webcam. You just log into the camera, you show the ID on the camera, you basically go through the same process as you've seen in the mobile banking app, just using the web browser and nothing else. And this is what I was mentioning. So when we were testing the existing solutions for the OCR, for recognizing the details of the ID card, we figured that whatever was in the market and was considered to be the best available solution wasn't really good enough. And just to give you a full picture, the recognition of the document that you have seen in the demo right now is one of those market leaders. That's not at us yet, because we haven't deployed that piece at Tatra. But just to give you an example, this is what we can do. This is the picture of my ID that I've taken. It was lying on my desk. And you see it's taken from far apart, and it's quite blurry. So what the system did, it recognized the ID, it normalized the position, so it has actually put it straight up. You see that the details are not that visible, and so the system was able to detect all these addresses. It was able to transcribe without any error all those details. And like I said, it will even give you a confidence score. So it will tell you how certain the system is of recognizing those particular fields. And because training a new document, new ID, takes a certain effort, because we have to, the beauty or the magic of the whole recognition accuracy is behind the artificial intelligence, the deep learning networks. In other words, every single new document you want the system to recognize, you have to somehow teach it. So we have created a tool that will allow you or our partners or customers to add a new document just by providing a scan of this document. marking the certain fields, so we would basically annotate the last name, first name, place of birth, date of birth, expiration, etc., where the photo is located. You would hit the submit button, and 12 hours later, but that's how long it takes neural network to learn itself, you will get a new document supported right away. So right now you have seen that in one of the previous slides. We support about, I think, 11 different document types, depending on the countries where we have deployed a solution. But with this tool, we can actually add many more as we go on the fly, and it can be actually done by our partners and customers. Yes, and that's the technology behind. So once again, facial recognition, it actually is these days very accurate. It's even more accurate than single fingerprint. So if you compare the accuracy or the probability of system accepting a false fingerprint, a single fingerprint, the facial recognition, facial biometrics is more accurate. Normally, when you do immigration and passports, you obviously provide more than one fingerprint, so that increases the accuracy. But over single finger face is really a more accurate biometric modality. And the reason why we think we are already very successful in the commercial sector is that facial biometrics is very convenient for the user. All you need is a selfie camera. People are used to take selfies. Your face is unique because fingerprints, for instance, are intrusive. They're considered kind of criminal, so people wouldn't really use fingerprint biometrics for opening the account in a bank. Although there are banks in Asia that do that, but normally the facial biometrics is becoming very popular for authentication purposes, and it is very secure. So that's it from our side. Thank you very much. Now the questions.
Maybe I will edit something to this biometry. When we were testing it, it was sometimes a bit scary because there was one programmer with an ID with a picture like 15 years old, a young guy on high school. And now it was long hair bird, hipster, and it was matched. So no one actually on the branch would open him an account with that personal ID. So, but we have some questions. Are you planning to include also the access to the account option enabled by PSD2? We started with an open account, and of course we would like to extend it. Whether also to the some servicing operations, like for the existing clients, you forgot, for example, your password and so on. So there are some options how to actually utilize it. So of course we would like to enhance it. With PSD2, it's one of the options, but there is a backlog of the work we would like to do. Do I still need the reader, čitačka with this online account? Yes. This is for onboarding. Later on, you will receive also the card and reader and debit card, because for real work, you need the debit card as well. Or you can have the card and reader in a mobile phone. For the daily basis, we consider it as easier to use than to do always the biometric checking. In future, we'll see. And what about the signature of loan contract? Yes, everything is digital. So far, when you receive the debit card and card and reader by courier, then you signed one contract for future electronic communication with the bank. Otherwise, all the contracts, accounts, loan, insurance are electronic. That was slide you. Anything here?
Gentleman at the back.
Yes, actually, this is one of the options for future use. We've seen it also, you can see it in InnoBank when we were testing it, that, for example, higher payments, higher amounts to another level of the biometry, then we will use the onboarded level. So we will take picture of the client, like onboard the face, and then we don't need to use the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
We are working with the banks that are using facial authentication also for confirming the payment. So if the payment is above a certain limit, you would basically be asked to confirm the payment with your facial presence. We also have banks in Turkey, for instance, that have ATMs, bankomats, equipped with the camera, and so all you need really in it is just insert your card, your debit card, and then you just look in the camera, and that's your confirmation of your authentication. No PIN is required.
You have one more Slido as well.
Here. Yeah, actually, the front end, of course, communicates with the infrastructure in Tatra Bank, where we have online fraud monitoring systems connected to the whole RBI network and checking all the data online. And plus, we have some certain insight rules for the fraud protection and the location and some countries and so on. So all the fraud there. Actually, it's on different levels for the account, for the loan, and so on, for the subject. Actually, but they don't want to disclose all the rules. So.
How come you are allowing loan or opening accounts through face detection, but you're not even allowing to sign into your mobile banking application with the biometrics?
Yeah, that's actually one of the most famous questions, of course, that we are missing the fingerprint logon to the mobile. The problem with the fingerprint logon of Face ID in the iPhone X is that actually we don't have access to this biometric data. You have to trust the mobile phone that user actually was accepted or passed through the biometric check, and you can continue. So that was one of the main reasons that we had only one entry point to the mobile application, and which allows you to do more the business, like granting the loan and so on, not just the payments. Therefore, it was not enough for this kind of the product. But right now, because of the PSD2 and so on, we have to split it. So we will also introduce some kind of the logon to the application with this, and the more sophisticated products with another approach. But the main problem is that you are not getting the finger from the phone, just acknowledgement.
And Dušan, I'm aware of the time, but may I close with a final question?